I'm 88 years old, and I've spent most of my life thinking there'd always be more time. Time to fix things. Time to say the things I never said. Time to make things right. But there isn't more time. And the truth is, I've only just begun to understand that. I've come to realize now that all along, God was giving me warnings. I just wasn't listening. For much of my life, I was caught up in the day-to-day grind, work, family, responsibilities. The world tells you that's what you're supposed to do, that success means you sacrifice a little bit of yourself, that it's okay to put off what really matters. I believed that. I thought as long as I worked hard, kept my faith, and provided for my family, I was doing what I was supposed to do. But time doesn't wait for you, and God doesn't promise you more time. I see that now. I think about it now, looking back at the younger version of myself, how I thought I had all the time in the world. I was busy building a career, raising a family. Everything seemed so urgent back then. I remember telling myself, I'll get to that later. I'll fix this when I'm done with that. But God had been whispering to me all along. In the quiet moments, I'd feel a tug in my heart, a little voice telling me to slow down, to be present, to spend more time with those I loved. But I didn't listen. I thought there would be time for that later. Back then, I had a good job, worked hard, and then I'd come home, exhausted. I'd tell myself I'd spend more time with my children when I wasn't so tired, that I'd take my wife out on those dates we always talked about when I didn't have to be at the office. I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought I was building something that would last. But in reality, I was missing the most important thing of all: my family, my faith, the moments I could have cherished. I was too busy to hear the call of God in my heart. But those little decisions, they add up. The more I put things off, the less I noticed that the years were slipping away. The missed dinners, the conversations that never happened, the vacations we never took because something always came up. At the time, they didn't seem like mistakes, just part of life. But now, I see them for what they were: missed opportunities, missed moments with the people I loved. And I see now that God was trying to tell me I had it all wrong. There were signs along the way, little things that I ignored. My wife asking me to just sit with her for a few minutes. My children wanting to show me something, and I'd say, later. I thought I'd have later, but there came a day when I didn't. I remember the first time it hit me, the realization that the life I'd been living was passing me by. My health started to fail, nothing major, but enough that it got me thinking about time. I couldn't run like I used to, couldn't stay up all night working anymore. And when I looked around, I saw how little time I had spent with the people who mattered most. And I realized the time I thought I had was never promised. It was a gift, and I had wasted it. But it wasn't until I lost my brother that I finally saw it clearly. He was older than me, but it didn't matter. One day he was just gone. No warning, no chance to say the things I'd been meaning to say. It hit me hard. All those years, and I hadn't told him how much I cared, how much his presence meant to me. All the years of putting things off, thinking there would be another chance, and then there was no more time. I began to realize that God was calling me to be present, to love without delay, to share my faith with others while there was still time. I wish I had known back then that life doesn't wait, that God doesn't give you an infinite amount of time. He gives you what you need, but it's up to you to use it. I can see now that those small moments, the ones I kept thinking I'd get to later, were the most important ones. The quiet moments with family, the conversations that didn't seem like much at the time, but meant everything in hindsight. It's too late to fix it all now. There are things that will never be the same, relationships that are too far gone, conversations that will never happen. I can't go back and change the past, but I know that if I had listened to God sooner, things might have been different. If I could talk to that younger man again, I would tell him to stop. Stop rushing through life. Stop thinking there's always going to be more time. I would tell him to be present, to listen more, to hug more, to spend time with the people who matter, not just the ones you think you have to please. And most importantly, I would tell him to make time for God. He's been calling me my whole life, and I didn't hear it until it was almost too late. I can't undo the mistakes I made. I can't go back and change what I didn't do, what I didn't say. But I can tell you this, if you're younger, don't wait. Don't put off the things that really matter. Don't think there's always more time, because there isn't. There's only now, and that's all you get. God gives us time, but it's not guaranteed. We're not promised tomorrow, and if we don't use the time He gives us wisely, we lose it. I've had a good life, but I've also had a lot of regrets. I can't change any of that. All I can do is share what I've learned in the hope that maybe you'll see the truth before it's too late. And even now, with all the time I've lived, there are moments that still slip away. But I've come to understand that we can't have everything. We can only do what we can with the time we have. And we must trust that God will guide us in that. And that's enough. It has to be. I know my time is running out, and I've made peace with it. But I'll carry these lessons with me to the end. If you're listening, if this means something to you, take it to heart. Don't wait. Don't waste what little time you have. Trust God's timing and use it wisely.